In the wilderness of Sinai, five sisters, Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah, face an unfair situation. Their father, Zelophehad, has died without sons, and under the existing custom, they are left without inheritance. Refusing to accept injustice, the daughters boldly approach Moses and the leaders of Israel. With faith in God's justice, they plead their case, asking for the right to inherit their father's land. Moses brings their request to God, who affirms their cause and commands a change in inheritance laws to include daughters when no sons are present. This moment becomes a landmark decision in Israel's history. Later in the book of Joshua, the daughters receive their land, a testament to their courage and God's faithfulness. Have you ever felt like something wasn't fair, but you weren't sure if speaking up was the right thing to do? Maybe you were told, that's just the way things are, or it's not your place. That's what today's story is about. Five sisters who didn't accept unfairness, even when everyone else did. And they didn't fight with anger or argue. They spoke with courage, faith, and respect. And because of that, God listened. Let's go back, way back, to the time when the Israelites were still in the wilderness. They had left slavery in Egypt and were on a long journey to a new home, the land God had promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For years they wandered through deserts, camped under the stars, and followed God's presence in a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night. Now they were almost there. The promised land was just ahead. Everyone was talking about it, where they would live, how the land would be divided, what kind of life they'd have. Each tribe of Israel, there were 12, would receive land. And within each tribe, land would be passed down to each family. This land wasn't just property, it was a gift from God, a place to belong, a future for their children. But what happened if a man died and had no sons? That's the question that five remarkable sisters were about to ask. Their father's name was Zelophehad. He belonged to the tribe of Manasseh, one of the sons of Joseph. Zelophehad had died in the wilderness, like many others who had left Egypt, but didn't enter the Promised Land. He didn't die because of rebellion or sin. He was a faithful man, but he had no sons. He had five daughters, Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. Let's imagine them for a moment. Mahlah, the eldest, quiet, wise, and thoughtful. Noah, bold and passionate, never afraid to speak her mind. Hoglah, full of questions, always reading, always learning. Milcah, gentle and kind, with a heart that felt deeply. And Tirzah, the youngest, energetic, curious, and always ready to act. They were close, sisters, yes, but also best friends. They grew up hearing the promises of God, that the land would belong to His people, that every family would have a place, but one day they overheard something troubling. Zelophehad, he had no sons. His land will be given to his relatives. It's unfortunate, but the law is clear. Inheritance passes through sons. The sisters looked at each other in silence. No sons, no land, no future for their family. That wasn't just a legal issue, it was deeply personal.
So we lose everything just like that? It's not right. We're his children too. But what can we do? No one's ever challenged this before. Maybe it's time someone did.
They prayed, they thought, and they made a decision. They would go together to speak to Moses, the leader of Israel, and not just him, but Eleazar the priest, the tribal elders, and the whole community gathered at the tabernacle. This wasn't a small thing. In their culture, women didn't usually speak in public, and certainly not about legal matters. But these 5 sisters were not afraid. An onlooker said, "What are they doing?" Another one too said, "They're going to speak at the tabernacle?" They arrived at the entrance of the sacred meeting place, where God himself spoke to his people. Then Mahla stepped forward.
Our father died in the wilderness. He was not among those who rebelled against the Lord, but he had no sons. Why should our father's name disappear from his clan just because he had no sons? Please, give us property among our father's relatives.
You could have heard a pin drop. No one had ever made such a request. This wasn't just about land. This was about justice, dignity, and whether daughters mattered just as much as sons. Moses listened. Then he turned and brought their case before the Lord. He didn't say no. He didn't ignore them. He brought it straight to God, and God answered.
What the daughters of Zelophehad are saying is right.
Yes, that's what God said. They are right. God not only gave them their father's land, he changed the law for all of Israel. From that day forward, daughters could inherit if there were no sons. These sisters didn't just speak up for themselves. They opened the door for countless other families to be treated fairly. Years later, after Moses passed away and Joshua led the people into the Promised Land, the daughters of Zelophehad returned again, this time not to ask, but to receive. They were given land among the tribe of Manasseh, just like God had promised. Their courage had made a way. Their faith had honored their father's name, and their story became a part of the legacy of Israel. So what can we learn from Mahla, Noah, Hoglah, Milsa, and Tirzah? That sometimes standing up for what's right takes courage, that when something is unjust, we should speak, but speak with respect, that God cares about justice, about women, about the unheard and the unseen, and that our voices, your voice, can make a difference. The daughters of Zelophehad didn't fight with fists, they stood with faith, and they changed history. So what about you? Is there something you know is right, but it takes courage to say it? Are you willing to step forward even when it's hard? Remember, God sees you. God listens. And like those 5 sisters, he might just use you to do something amazing. Thanks for watching. And always remember, When you stand up with faith and speak with love, God listens.